there. So I'm not going to have any music today in the background for this video. If you would like to have some music on, you can have a separate device playing some music in the background if you'd like that. So today's yoga practice is called the breath strengthening yoga video. So what I mean by that, breath strengthening, how do we really strengthen our breath? And this is just strengthening the muscles that we use when we're breathing, areas like the diaphragm and our lungs. So my yoga teacher actually recently, when I took a class, she was explaining how sometimes singers, people who sing, will put heavy things on their belly and try breathing with heavy things on their belly. And this is because it strengthens those muscles to be able to sing really deep into their bellies and have that longer ability to sing for a long time. So anyway, in yoga, we are strengthening our breathing muscles in a different way. Instead of putting heavy things on us and trying to breathe, we breathe more through compression. So when, for instance, in a pose where like you're kind of curled over or your belly is being pressed into your legs, so that compression where you're having to breathe into that, even though you're kind of being squeezed up. And also through twisting poses where we're twisting but we still have to breathe. That's strengthening our breathing muscles. Okay, so throughout this practice, we'll be focusing on our breath and trying to strengthen those breathing muscles. We're going to start with our breathing exercise, which in yoga is called the Ujjayi breath. Some people also call it ocean breath. And then if you're a Star Wars fan, Darth Vader breath. So you choose what you want to refer to it as. I'll call it ocean breath. So we want to be seated in easy pose, sitting up nice and tall, long, strong spine. And then take your hand out in front of you, and we're going to imagine this is a mirror. So we're going to try to fog up this mirror with our breath. So breathe in through your nose, and as you exhale out of your mouth, try to fog up that mirror. So you should feel this kind of activation in the back of your throat. Do it again. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, fog up that mirror. Nice. Now, that sound is kind of similar too, so if you want to imagine the ocean breath, like when you have a big seashell, like one of those big conch shells, and you listen to it, you can kind of hear that sound. Similar sound, or Darth Vader, right? That same kind of weird sound that he makes. But with the breath, when we're doing yoga poses, our mouth is closed, so we're only breathing in and out of our nose. It's just that we still want to have that same kind of activation in the back of our throat. So try it with your mouth closed. Breathe in through your nose, fogging up that mirror as you breathe out, but keep your mouth closed, lips sealed. One more time. So you should sound like Darth Vader, sound like that ocean sound in a shell. Okay, so you want to maintain that during yoga poses for the most of our yoga practice, except when we get to the end where we're kind of chilling out and resting. That's when you can just let your breath flow normally and naturally and not worry about controlling it like that. But that breath, that ocean breath or Darth Vader breath, is going to be really helpful in increasing the ability to really focus in our yoga poses, right? So we're focusing on that type of breathing and strengthening our breathing muscles today. Let's start with some gentle neck stretches. I've had some comments from students just from working so much on their laptops and in uncomfortable positions that we need some neck and shoulder love. So take one hand and drop it down to the side of you, and then I want you to lean your head in the opposite direction, so away from your hand, and then take your other hand and just gently pull your head down towards your shoulder. So your ear is dropping down towards your shoulder. Crawl those fingertips out to the side a little more. You should feel a stretch through your neck. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. A couple more breaths on this side. If you want to add a little gentle nod forward and back, you can do that. So while you're trying that out, I'm just going to talk a little bit more about the breath. What makes yoga a unique form of exercise is the connection with the breath. Right? So this attention to the breath, let's go ahead and switch sides. Other fingertips come out, drop your ear towards your shoulder, touch your head if you want to pull it a little more. So this attention to the breath and controlling your breathing helps in so many ways. It calms our nervous system, it releases any trapped, difficult emotions in us, but it can really help clear thinking and increase focus. So there's a purpose to it. There's always a purpose. All right, hands to knees. Let's do a couple cat-cow spinal waves. We want to round our back, tuck your chin, look towards your belly button. And then inhale, lift up, open your chest, shoulders are rolled back, chin is up. That's when you breathe in. When you breathe out, round and tuck. Breathe in, lift, open. Breathe out, round and tuck. Breathe in, lift up, look up. Couple more on your own, match it to your breath. And then just bring it back up to neutral. We're going to come into some standing postures to warm up. So just a simple little standing warm up. We're going to inhale, lift our arms up into extended mountain pose. Exhale, bring your hands towards your chest and lean back. Do a gentle back bend. Look up towards the ceiling. Inhale, reach your arms back up into extended mountain pose. Exhale, dive down, forward fold. You can have a bend in your knees. Let your head hang heavy. You can hold opposite elbows. You can sway side to side. Okay, on your next inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up, extended mountain pose. And then exhale, draw your hands down to your chest and lean back into a gentle back bend. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, dive down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, mini back bend. Inhale, extended mountain. And then exhale, come down and come into a little ball, crouch and curl. So bring your hands down to the mat and just let your belly press against your legs. Let your spine round here so it can just relax completely. Drop your head, drop your thoughts. Imagine sending a couple breaths up and down your spine. So traveling up as you breathe in, traveling down as you breathe out. So this is that compression I was talking about. Right now your belly is pressing into your legs. This is strengthening those breathing muscles. And then set your heels down on the mat. Come up into chair pose. So chair pose, you can have your hands together in front like this, or you can reach your arms up and out in front of you. We're going to add on to this. So we're going to add on some twists, because remember that's going to be strengthening our breathing muscles. Hands together in front. You should be able to see your toes. So when you're in chair pose, make sure you can still see your toes. You're not bending over them. Sit back like someone just pushed in their chair. And then you want to get a little lower so that you can twist. So twist to one side. Try to hook your elbow on the outside of your leg. Okay? So get grounded in your twist. You can look at a spot on the floor or on the ceiling. I like to look up at the ceiling so I can get deeper in my twist. Feel your belly. Really engage your breathing muscles even though you're being twisted right now. And then the leg that's not being pushed on by your arm, step that leg back. So you're coming into a low lunge, a twisted low lunge. Big breath in. As you breathe out, release your arms out. And then slowly come up. We're in a water wheel. We're in a twisted pose still. So this water wheel, imagine like a wet rag is being wrung out, twisted. That's how you want to think about your body right now. You're breathing in this twist, and that's helping to release toxins. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay, now listen. I'm going to spin my back heel down, cartwheel my arms around to come into warrior two. Okay, take a big breath in. Front knee bends over your ankle, breath out. On your next breath in, lean back into reverse warrior. Almost forgot the name for a second. Big breath in. As you breathe out, bring the hands down to the mat. Come into a plank pose. Step the foot back. Drop your knees down. And slowly lower your belly down to the mat, your chest down to the mat, and your chin down to the mat. Take a quick, what's called a belly shavasana, or a little mini corpse pose on your belly. Feel your breath move in your belly. Really push against the mat as you breathe in. And soften and relax as you breathe out. Awesome. Okay, press your hands into the mat, curl your toes under, and push back up into plank pose. Remember your ocean breath. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your nose, fogging up your mirror. Send your hips high and back to downward dog, and then step or hop your feet forward on your breath out to meet your hands. We're going to come back into that chair pose. I'm just going to switch sides. So you're in chair pose. Remember, check. You can lift all 10 toes off the mat. You can see your toes. Your knees are bent. Your hips are sitting back low. And then twist now to the opposite side. So you should be hooking your elbow on the outside of your leg. Feel your belly twist and push against your legs. Focus on your breath. Now in this twisted chair, we're going to step our opposite foot back now, the one that's not being pushed on with our elbow. Gently, carefully step that foot back. You're in a twisted lunge now. Straighten that back leg as best you can. And then on your next breath in, I want you to open your arms up. On your breath out, lift up. So we're in water wheel now. We're in this twisted position. Focus on that breath again like you're wringing out a rag. Great, now we're going to spin the back foot down. Spin our arms around to come into warrior two. Get low in that front knee. Focus your gaze right over your fingertips. Deep breath in. Big breath out. And then reach up and back into reverse warrior. And as you breathe out, come back down. Bring your hands down to the mat, coming back into plank pose. Lower your knees, then lower your chest all the way down to the mat. Now turn your opposite ear on the mat this time. A little quick rest. Feel your belly press into the mat as you breathe in. And relax as you breathe out. Now press your hands back into the mat. Curl your toes under, push back up into plank pose. Downward facing dog. Step or hop your feet forward. And then slowly roll up. And come to the center of your mat. We're going to do a little flow series of 2 poses. We're going to do a goddess pose combined with a half moon pose. So this is a great practice for when your breath can help you learn to really focus and calm yourself. So especially in a challenging pose like this that involves balance, we need that focus and calm. So separate your feet out, so spread your legs out wide. Heels are turned in, toes are turned out. You want to bend your knees and sit low, okay, into this wide leg squat. Try to have a nice tall spine here, really like tilting your pelvis forward. And then you can bring your arms up. You can goal post your arms out in those cactus arms. And then from here, we're going to sit down low in our squat. Oops. Keep your balance. And then we're going to be shifting our weight to one side. I'm going to bring same side hand and foot down to the mat as I stretch my back leg up and my arm up. So half moon pose. It's a balancing pose. It's helpful to have a spot on the floor to look at. Okay, use your breath to focus and calm you. Smooth, deep breaths in and out. And then we're going to set that foot down, set that hand down, come back to our goddess squat. Breathe in. And now to the other side. As we breathe out, I'm going to get really good weight over into this leg and this hand. Drop that down to the mat and then push up with my back leg and top hand. Breathing, focusing and calming. Use your breath as your tool. Step that foot back down. And let's do 2 more on each side, a little quicker, a little more fluid, matching to our breath. Inhale, exhale, drop down to half moon pose. Inhale, exhale, goddess pose. Inhale, exhale, half moon, other side. Big breath in, big breath out, goddess. 1 more each side. Inhale, exhale, half moon. Inhale, exhale, back to goddess. Last time, inhale, exhale, half moon. Inhale, Inhale back to goddess. Awesome job. Shake your legs out. And then bring it down to the mat. We're going to come into bow pose. So this is one where we definitely are using our belly. We're strengthening those breathing muscles. Come onto your belly. And you're going to bend your knees, lifting your feet up. This is called bow pose. So imagine like a bow and arrow. You're really bowing your back. You're going to be bending and arching. So grab onto your ankles. And maybe this is as far as you can go. Otherwise, if you want to try to lift up a little more, flex your feet, really grabbing onto your ankles and pressing into your hands. As you lift your feet up, your back should arch. Try to keep your neck nice and neutral. Don't strain your neck. And then move with your breath. You'll feel your breath kind of rock you up and down. Big breaths. Awesome. Do one more big breath. Let it go. Take your feet and kind of just windshield wiper them side to side so we're getting any tension out of our low back. And then flip over like a pancake. Hug your knees into your chest. Really give them a good squeeze. Feel your belly press up against your legs as you breathe in. And then take your knees glued together like that and drop them over to one side. So we're again twisting. Bring your opposite arm out to stretch out long. Twist away from your knees now. Look away from your knees, twist away from them. So now we turn off that powerful ocean breath, and now we have more of like a smooth, relaxed breath without controlling it. Just let it flow. Bring your knees back up to center. Give them another good squeeze, and then drop them to the other side. Again, twisting away from them, looking away from them. Try to let go of any thoughts. See if you can just bring your attention completely to your breath. Bring your knees back to center. Let your legs go out long. So we are going to do our final rest pose combined with a breathing exercise. This is where if you want to pause the video, you can grab something to just rest lightly on your belly, something like a stuffed animal or maybe like a small light book, just not something round that would roll off of you. I'm going to sit up just so that you can hear me better, but I want you to just stretch out nice and long. So if you wanted to pause the video to grab one of those things, you can do that. Otherwise, just let your legs go out long, let your arms go out long, let that thing rest, whatever you chose, let it rest on your belly, and just kind of picture it, feel it moving up and down with your breath. So this is just using a tool to help us remember to focus on our breathing, that little light pressure on your belly. And in our rest pose today, we're going to try one more breathing exercise, which is called counting breaths. And this is great when we have a lot of thinking going on. Thinking is great, we need that. But sometimes our thoughts become too loud and they just get in the way of what we're trying to do, like when we're trying to fall asleep or trying to pay attention to our schoolwork or pay attention when we're in a conversation with someone. We need to train our mind to be able to focus, and that we can use our breath to help us with that. So for breath counting, we simply count the breaths from 1 to 10. And we start over if our minds wander, or if we make it to 10, we start back at 1. So I like to count each part of my breath as a count. So I would inhale and count 1 in my head. Exhale, count 2 in my head. Inhale is 3. Exhales 4. Inhales 5. Exhale, 6. And keep that going till you get to 10. We're going to do 2 more rounds. I want you to, when your mind wanders, notice where it goes, but then just gently bring it back. Bring your attention back. And we shouldn't feel breathless or like we're trying too hard. Let the breath and the body just settle down. You don't need to change the breath. Just pay attention to it. Okay, so 2 more rounds counting to 10. If you mess up, if you lose your focus, it's totally fine. You're just going to start back at 1. Okay, reset your attention. Start fresh. And then just release your focus from your breath. Let it return back to normal. With no control, no focus on it. Just let your mind wander if it wants to wander. Start to bring movement back into your fingers and toes. Maybe stretching if that feels good. And then when you're ready, come up to easy pose. Awesome job focusing on the breath today, guys. Just remember, throughout your day, try to make a habit of it. Just when you can, notice your breath and really use it as a tool to help you focus and calm your mind. See you next time.